Howdy world, it's Trey Specs, coach of the Orlando Magikarps, bringing you DBL Season 1, Week 3, with a battle against Trexo, however you say it, and the Portland Timburs. As you can see on the screen, we brought Donphan, Mega Mawile, Espeon, Suicune, Dragonite, and Arcanine. Had a brain fart. And we are up against Steelix, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Hitmontop, Slowbro, and Zygarde. 50%. So this was a very fun battle, a very long battle. I'm going to go ahead and start it because even in post-recording, the Timbers side, I think, was like 20 minutes long, so this will probably be similar. I am running behind. Unfortunately, my audio interface died, so I having to catch up on videos. So I go ahead and lead off Donphan, figuring I can get my rocks up with Sturdy. I don't have to worry about anything. And he goes into Steelix, doing the exact same thing, I presume. I almost swapped into Espeon, but I figured he wouldn't stay in, knowing I have Rapid Spin. But he does, and gets rocks up, which would have been great if I would have walked Espeon in there. But anyways, I just go for Rapid Spin, so I figure if he stays in, I break his Sturdy, and then get rid of his rocks. He goes into Slowbro. Takes a little damage there. Rapid Spin goes off. Get rid of those pesky rocks. Do a little bit of non-existent chip damage. That's doesn't matter after leftovers. So I go ahead and swap out into my Espeon. Seeing what this thing wants to do. He does just go for the Scald. We don't take that very well, but it is a 3-shot kill at least, as long as there's no burn. And I take this time just to get a Reflect up. He does swap back into Steelix. So I get the light screens up because I did bring a very defensive Alex. I go ahead and swap out into Dragonite, predicting an Earthquake, but he just shows the Iron Head, and that does a lot. So I just go for Roost, seeing what he wants to do. Get myself back up to Multi-Scale. He does stay in and just Iron Heads, so he can PP stall me, so I have to get out of here. Unfortunately, it was a bad switch with Elliott. So I go into Suicune, knowing I can take pretty much anything from this. Yep, we can take those Iron Heads. It'll be a 5 or 6 hit kill. He does withdraw. And goes into Amoonguss, which I predict, and I just go for the Ice Beam. And we do get the freeze, which I felt really bad about. Immediately messaged him saying, oof. But you'll see. You'll see it's not the end of the world. Unfortunately, he does stay frozen here, so I just keep firing off Ice Beams. He does withdraw. He has Regenerator, so he can come back in with some more health and survive another hit, probably. And in comes Flanders, which Ice Beam doesn't do anything to. Once again, with that Leftovers Recovery and the Regenerator ability, both of these Pokemon can be huge annoyances. Unfortunately, my light screen is wearing off. I just go for Toxic, which is nice. Puts this thing on a little timer. If you have tried to stay in, he does set up the Trick Room. So I was still thinking, even with Trick Room, this thing's not going to do anything to me, and it's going to end up dying to Toxic. But he pulls a very smart switch here. Brings in Amoonguss, knowing I'm probably clicking Scald, as it does more damage than Ice Beam. And we unthaw Amoonguss. If only we had clicked Ice Beam. That would have been beautiful. But we don't. This thing's thawed out. And with Black Sludge and Regenerator, this thing, like I said, can be a huge annoyance. I go ahead and swap out because I don't want to eat a Giga Drain from it. I send in Espeon, try to scare it out. Does hit us with a Giga Drain, get a little bit of health back. And with Black Sludge, it's going to be practically over 50%. And now with Regenerator, he can easily just get back to full health. He is going to swap out, and I just take this time once again to get up my rocks. Not rocks, sorry. Get up my screens. Light screen goes back up. And I don't want to take anything from this, so once again, I just go right back out into Zoe. And I guess he figured Dragonite was coming in, so he hits with the Ice Fang. But I wasn't going to try that again. Trick Room is over, which is nice. He does withdraw. Goes right back into Slowbro. And I just go for Ice Beam. Figuring Amoonguss again. Toxic doing a little bit of damage, but once again with the Regenerator, not such a big deal. I do just go ahead and Scald because I figure he's going to try to get Trick Room up. And he does. So I figure Amoonguss is coming back in now. So he does swap out. Amoonguss does... Oh wait, no, he goes into SWAT. His Hitmontop. And I did go for the Ice Beam, predicting the Amoonguss coming in. Which he takes that all day, because Hitmontop is super bulky on the special defense side. I go for the Scald. Doesn't do that much there. Rapid Spin doing like 1 damage, but getting rid of my rocks, unfortunately. He does withdraw and goes back into Amoonguss. Which I did predict, and we just clicked Ice Beam. Doing a little bit of damage. Black Sludge once again, keeping it above 50%. I go ahead and swap back out once again into Espeon. Does go for the Giga Drain, gets a little bit more health back. And once again, I take this opportunity to just get my light screen up, which I thought about attacking, but I'm really glad I didn't, because he finally does pull the switch into Incineroar, which Psychic would have done nothing. So I get my screens up. And I decide to sack off Alex and get Reflect up. So none of his Pokemon can do anything really for 6 turns of significant damage. He does go ahead and finish me off. And now with that, with both screens up, I know I can just come in and Roost up and Dragon Dance in anything's face pretty much. So it turns out this thing is Scarfed. And unfortunately, Roost didn't get me back to Multiscale. But he does withdraw. And I know I can take another one of those. So I just went for Dragon Dance. So we get our attack up. I was afraid of a Spore, so I just wanted to get some damage off here, so I just go for Dragon Claw, which does a good chunk of damage, and unfortunately he does hit us with that Clear Smog. He does withdraw, because I did just go for an attack. I went for the Earthquake just in case he tried to bring Incineroar back in. And so I just roost up, getting myself back to multi-scale, just in case he goes for an Ice Beam. And sure enough, he goes for an Ice Beam. And thankfully, with screens up and multi-scale, that did absolutely nothing, and we get our weakness policy off, which is great. But we aren't at +3 because we lost our Dragon Dance. But even being a +2, Dragon Claw would definitely kill this thing. So I do just stay in and click Dragon Claw, especially if I wanted to swap anything out. +1, it would still kill Hitmontop and Incineroar, I believe, at the time. He does get in Francis. I kind of forgot it was at full health, so now we are at +1 attack. And he goes for Outrage. Which thankfully we had the Reflect up, and we go for Dragon Dance. But Reflect is off, and now I'm kind of scared that he might still outspeed. With being Scarfed. So I ran some calcs, and it was very iffy. He might outspeed us, so I did bring in Mawile to drop his attack and take no damage from an Outrage. And I know he's Scarfed, so he has to swap out. And I should have predicted this. I kind of forgot Steelix was still alive. And I just go for a Swords Dance here, which will do me no good. Because this thing one-shots me, and I do not one-shot it. So Mega Mawile's at +2 attack, and I've lost my +2 attack Dragonite, so this is not looking good for my two main sweepers slash damage dealers. I bring Dragonite back out, predicting the Earthquake now, because it's too good to resist on Mega Mawile. And I roost up, thinking he's going to swap out, but no! He reads me. He reads me and stays in an Earthquakes. If only I had gone for Dragon Dance there. So I know this thing is choice banded. And so, unfortunately, he does withdraw. And sends Incineroar back out. Gets the Intimidate off. I do just go for a Dragon Dance. And so this is where I was worried about my speed calcs. Still. So I bring in Zoe, because this thing isn't going to do too much to Zoe. Yep, he does go for the Flare Blitz. We can eat that up, and does a little bit of chip damage back to itself. And now he's locked into that, so he definitely has to swap out. Goes back into Hitmontop. And I just go for a Scald. Oh no, I go for Ice Beam. Predicting a Mungus, my bad. So now I just go for a Scald. He does go for Close Combat. Luckily he's faster, so that's going to drop his special defense, which is nice. And we do get the burn. So this definitely was a critical burn, because now we definitely survived the close combat. According to my calcs, I thought we might survive with 2 HP anyways. I'd have to go back and do the numbers. But so I'm not sure if it mattered as much if it did, but it definitely allows me to rest up Back to full health for free. And so once again, just getting some chip damage off on Zoe. And we are able to pick up the kill with a Scald. So in comes Amoonguss, and I'm at full health, so I decide to see how much this is going to do to me, to see what kind of set he's running. So I just stay in and go for the Ice Beam. And that does a little more than I'm comfortable with staying in. He would definitely win this battle. So I go ahead and I swap back out. Back into Elliot. Dragonite putting in the finest of work this match. Does go for a Giga Drain. Does very, very little damage. But with the Regenerator, this thing will just come back in once again at full health. So I just go for Roost. He stays in, thinking I'm going for Dragon Dance. And hits me with the Clear Smog. No, my bad. Toxic. Hits me with the Toxic. So Dragonite, unfortunately, cannot just Roost back to full. And we were put on a timer. So I just go for Dragon Claw. If this thing stays in, it's going to do some decent damage. And he does. And he goes for Clear Smog, predicting my Dragon Dancing. But we don't stay in that, so I figured this thing's finally going to die if he does stay in, but he does swap out into Francis to drop my attack. So now we're at -1. Dragon Claw not doing too much at -1. But I wasn't sure what move he was going to do. So I just stay in and click Earthquake because Elliot is kind of useless at the moment. He goes for Drain Punch, thankfully. Which we can take those all day. And that little bit of health isn't going to matter all that much. And I just click Earthquake. Which almost kills. If we weren't at -1, that would have been great. But Dragonite, thank you Elliot, once again, doing the finest for it. Love this Pokemon. So I just get to come back in now with Cave. And just click Extreme Speed and drop its attack. And down goes Francis. Arcanine coming in for the first time and picking up a revenge kill. In comes Zygarde, which I am scared of. Arcanine can't do too much to this. So I go ahead and swap out and go into Zoe. Seeing what this thing wants to do. And then obviously I'm carrying the Ice Beam. And he double swaps. Checking to see if I have Outrage, I'm assuming. And goes into Steelix, which I am okay with. I just go for the Scald. Doing some massive damage. Big boy just going for the Earthquake. Doing some good chunk damage back. But no, we outspeed. I just go for the Ice Beam because it would pick up the kill, or if he swapped in trying to save it. But Big Boy does go down. Suicune picking up a kill, and back comes in Vengeance. And this is where I'm like, oh no. Is he reverse Dragoniting me? He goes for Dragon Dance. I go for the Ice Beam. Because at first I was like, man, if he's carrying Weakness Policy, this is going to be super bad. But he does have the Oshberry. Weakening that Ice Beam. hits me with 1,000 arrows. So Zoe goes down, but did so much work this battle. Very happy with Suicune's performance. And in comes Modok. My beautiful shiny Donphan. Ice go for Ice Shard. Does a good chunk. Definitely can do 2 kills. Or 2-hit kill. Hits me with 1,000 arrows. Which I'm okay with, because obviously we outspeed with Ice Shard, and that's not going to hit a 2-hit kill. He does show that he does carry the extreme speed. But we are a bulky, bulky Modok. So, Ice Shard picks up the kill with Vengeance. And thanks to Dragonite's damage on Amoonguss, Amoonguss comes in, not at full health. A little bit above 50%. And we show we are carrying the Tectonic Rage. And the Ice Shard would not pick up the kill from that health. But, this Z move, Tectonic Rage, definitely does. And so the Orlando Magikarps are going into week 4 now. Undefeated. Taking on a 3-0 victory. Go ahead and check out the Timburs side. The battle links will be down in the description below. Thank you for the battle. And then probably going up tomorrow, I have another battle against him in the PGL NU Cup. So, you know how I am with NU. Probably a different kind of game. So anyways, if you want to check that out, that'll be going up tomorrow. But thanks again for watching, and then next week in the DBL, we are up against the creator of the DBL, Old School Sin, as I know him, or just Sin, and yeah, look forward to that. We'll see you next week. Bye.